You love your dog, right? But what if the way you feed them is actually hurting them, slowly, silently? That happy tail wag at mealtime. It hides what's really happening inside. Because dogs can't say, "This is killing me," but their bodies do. The real question is, are you listening? Here are 10 feeding mistakes that could cost your dog their life. And chances are, you're making at least one of them. First up, the bowl. That's slowly poisoning your dog. This one's going to gross you out. Your dog's food bowl is dirtier than your toilet seat. I'm not joking. NSF International tested household items, and guess what ranked higher for bacteria than your toilet? Your dog's bowl. We're talking E. coli, salmonella, the works. Here's what blew my mind. I thought I was a good dog parent. I washed the bowl, maybe twice a week. Turns out, every single lick leaves behind saliva that becomes a bacteria breeding ground within hours. The fix is stupid simple, but most people won't do it because it seems excessive. Wash with hot, soapy water daily. Not tomorrow, not when you remember. Daily. Your dog's gut will thank you. Quick question. When was the last time you washed your dog's bowl? Be honest in the comments. Don't worry, we're all learning here. But even with a clean bowl, what you put in, it might be even more dangerous. The water that's creating kidney disease. The silent kidney destroyer. How often do you change your dog's water? Once a day? Only when you remember? This is what happens to water left out for 24 hours. Especially in summer. Bacteria multiply every 20 minutes. That's not water anymore. That's bacteria soup. My buddy Jake, his German Shepherd, started having kidney issues at just 4 years old. $3,000 in vet bills later. You know what the problem was? Stagnant water causing chronic low-level poisoning. Here's the rule that will save your dog's kidneys. Fresh water twice daily, minimum. Hot weather? 3 times. The bowl gets a rinse each time. Now, speaking of bowls, the type of bowl you're using might be silently suffocating your dog. The 15-second meal, that's a death sentence. The speed eating that literally kills. If your dog inhales their food in under a minute, this could save their life. When dogs eat too fast, they swallow massive amounts of air. In large breeds, this can cause the stomach to flip. Gastric torsion. Once it flips, blood supply gets cut off. You have 2 to 3 hours to get to emergency surgery, or they die. This kills more large breed dogs than cancer, and it's 100% preventable. My friend Sarah's. Great Dane. Beautiful, healthy 3-year-old. Ate dinner too fast on a Tuesday night. By Thursday, he was gone. $8,000 in emergency surgery couldn't save him. The fix costs under $20. Slow feeder bowls, puzzle feeders, or split their meal into 3 to 4 smaller portions throughout the day. I switched my fast eater to a puzzle feeder. Went from 30 seconds to 10 minutes. Same food, same amount, but now his stomach has time to process properly. If you have a large breed dog who eats fast, this isn't optional. This is life or death. Don't wait for symptoms. Prevent it now. But before we get to the #1 killer, there's something you might be giving as a treat that's even more dangerous. The treat, that's an emergency room visit. This mistake that sends more dogs to emergency surgery than anything else. Cooked bones. I know. But dogs love bones. Here's what cooking does to bones. Makes them splinter like glass. Raw bones are flexible. Cooked bones are brittle death traps. Every single week, emergency vets remove bone fragments from dogs' throats, stomachs, and intestines. The surgery costs $3,000 to $8,000. If they survive. I talked to Dr. Jennifer Martinez, emergency vet with 15 years experience. She told me the worst part isn't the surgery. It's looking into the owner's eyes and saying, "I'm sorry, we were too late." Want to give your dog bones? Raw beef knuckle bones, frozen marrow bones, or high-quality dental chews. Never anything that's been cooked. One moment of "they'll be fine" can turn into a lifetime of regret. Don't risk it. But hold on, I promised you more, and these bonus mistakes are just as deadly as the first 7. The dinner time that's destroying their stomach. Feeding your dog immediately after exercise or right before bed. This one almost killed my neighbor's Rottweiler. Here's what happens. When dogs eat right after intense exercise, their body is still in workout mode. Blood flow is directed to muscles, not digestion. The food just sits there, fermenting, creating gas and potential blockages. Even worse, late-night feeding. Dogs need 3 to 4 hours to properly digest before lying down. Otherwise, you're setting them up for acid reflux, vomiting, and disrupted sleep patterns that affect their immune system. My German Shepherd used to throw up every morning until I realized I was feeding him at 9 p.m. Switched to 6 p.m. feeding, problem solved instantly. The rule: feed 2 hours after exercise and 3 hours before bedtime. Your dog's stomach will thank you, and so will your carpet. How many of you are guilty of the post-walk feeding frenzy? Don't worry, we've all been there. But timing isn't the only problem. Wait until you hear about the innocent human food that's creating a silent health crisis. The human food that's slowly poisoning them. This one breaks my heart because I see it everywhere. Sharing your dinner plate with your furry family member seems harmless, right? Wrong. That tiny piece of garlic bread, the onion from your burger, grapes from your fruit salad. These aren't just bad for dogs. They're literally toxic. Garlic and onions destroy red blood cells. Grapes cause kidney failure. Chocolate affects their heart rhythm. But here's the sneaky part. The damage is cumulative. One grape won't kill them instantly, but regular small amounts create toxin buildup that suddenly becomes fatal years later. I had a client whose lab died at 5 years old from kidney failure. Turns out, Grandma had been sneaking him just one grape every Sunday for 3 years during family dinners. The hardest part? Dogs don't understand sometimes food. If you give it once, they'll beg forever. It's actually kinder to never start. Stick to dog-safe human foods. Plain chicken, carrots, blueberries, or sweet potato. Their health is worth more than those puppy dog eyes. What human food does your dog beg for most? Let me know if it's safe. Speaking of begging, this next mistake is actually creating that annoying behavior. The treat timing that's creating behavioral nightmares. Random treat timing that's accidentally training bad behavior. You think you're being nice, but you might be creating a monster. Here's the psychology. Dogs live in the moment. When you give a treat, they associate it with whatever they were doing 3 seconds before. So if your dog is barking at the mailman and you give them a treat to calm them down, guess what you just rewarded? Barking at the mailman. My friend Lisa couldn't figure out why her beagle became more and more demanding. Turns out she was giving treats every time he whined. She thought she was comforting him. She was actually teaching him that whining gets rewards. The fix is simple, but requires discipline. Treats only come after good behavior. Sitting calmly and following commands, or being quiet. Never during or immediately after unwanted behavior. And here's the game changer. Make them work for it. A simples it before every treat builds respect and mental stimulation. No more free handouts. Your dog doesn't need constant treats to know you love them. Consistent rules show love better than random snacks. Are you accidentally rewarding bad behavior? Most people are shocked when they realize it. But bad timing isn't just about treats. It's also about when you completely change their food. The food transition that's wrecking their gut. Switching foods overnight and wondering why your dog has explosive diarrhea for a week. Their digestive system isn't designed for sudden changes. Even switching from one premium brand to another can cause chaos. Dogs develop specific gut bacteria for their regular food. Change too fast, and you kill off the good bacteria, leaving them vulnerable to infections and inflammation. I learned this the hard way when I switched my Golden's food because it went on sale. 3 days of liquid diarrhea, a $200 vet bill, and probiotics for 2 weeks. All because I wanted to save $10. The proper transition takes 7 to 10 days. Day 1 to 2, 75% old food, 25% new. Day 3 and 4, 50-50 split. Day 5 to 6, 25% old, 75% new. Day 7 plus, 100% new food. Seems excessive. Tell that to my carpet cleaner bill. This gradual transition lets their gut bacteria adjust naturally, preventing digestive upset and maintaining healthy nutrient absorption. Even changing flavors within the same brand should be done gradually. Their stomach doesn't care if it's chicken versus beef. It only cares about the ingredient changes. Have you ever done the overnight food switch? Share your disaster stories. We've all been there. Now, food transitions are planned disasters, but this next mistake is an ongoing daily disaster most people don't even realize they're doing. The free-feeding disaster. That's ruining everything, free-feeding or leaving food out all day. It seems convenient, but it's destroying your dog's health and your relationship with them. First, you can't monitor their appetite. Changes in eating habits are the first sign of illness, but if food is always available, you'll never notice until it's serious. Second, it creates food aggression and resource guarding. When food is always there, it loses value, but they become anxious about protecting it from other pets or even family members. Third, it attracts pests. Ants, flies, even mice love dog food. You're basically running a free buffet for every pest in your neighborhood. But here's the behavioral nightmare. Free-fed dogs never learn meal structure or discipline. They become picky eaters, beggars, and counter-surfers because they never learned that food comes at specific times through specific behaviors. My trainer friend says the fastest way to improve a dog's obedience is structured meal times. When you control the food, you control the relationship. They learn patience, respect, and that good things come from you. Set meal times. Twice daily for adults, 3 times for puppies. Put the bowl down for 15 to 20 minutes, then pick it up whether they finished or not. Are you a free feeder? Time to take back control of your household. But even with perfect meal structure, this next mistake turns food into an unhealthy obsession. Free buffet for every pest in your neighborhood. But here's the behavioral nightmare. Free-fed dogs never learn meal structure or discipline. They become picky eaters, beggars, and counter-surfers because they never learned that food comes at specific times through specific behaviors. My trainer friend says the fastest way to improve a dog's obedience is structured meal times. When you control the food, you control the relationship. They learn patience, respect, and that good things come from you. Set meal times. Twice daily for adults, 3 times for puppies. Put the bowl down for 15 to 20 minutes, then pick it up whether they finished or not. Are you a free feeder? Time to take back control of your household. The fake love language that's killing them. Using food as your only way to show love. I get it. Their happy face when you give treats makes your heart melt. But you're accidentally creating food addiction and begging behavior. Here's the brutal truth. That cute begging isn't love, it's desperation. You've trained them to believe food equals affection, so now they're constantly anxious about when the next treat is coming. I watched a family turn their sweet Golden into a counter-surfing, garbage-raiding maniac because every interaction involved food. The dog couldn't relax because he was always hunting for the next snack. Your dog craves your attention, not just your treats. A 5-minute training session, a good belly rub, or a game of fetch shows more love than a handful of treats ever could. Start replacing food rewards with physical affection and playtime. Watch how much calmer and more confident they become when they're not constantly focused on their next meal. The strongest human-dog bonds are built on trust, consistency, and attention, not treats. Food should fuel their body, not be their primary source of happiness. Real love is teaching them healthy habits, not feeding their every desire. Are you loving them or enabling them? But even with the right love language, this next timing mistake is sabotaging their entire biological rhythm. The shared meal, timing that's ruining their routine, feeding your dog when you eat instead of when they need to eat. This seems logical, but it's wreaking havoc on their natural digestive rhythm. Dogs thrive on routine, but they also have optimal digestion windows that don't match human meal times. Feeding them at 6 a.m., 12 p.m., and 8 p.m. because that's when your family eats can cause digestive stress and behavioral issues. Here's what most people don't realize. Dogs digest food best when their activity levels are moderate. Feeding right before your morning rush or late evening relaxation disrupts this natural flow. My neighbor fed her Labrador dinner at 10 p.m. because that's when her family ate. The poor dog would be up all night with digestive discomfort, then too tired and sluggish for morning walks. The optimal schedule: morning meal 1 to 2 hours after waking, evening meal 4 to 5 hours before bedtime. This gives them time to digest properly and eliminates those 3 a.m. potty emergencies. It took me years to realize my dog's anxiety wasn't behavioral. It was digestive. His stomach was constantly working overtime because I fed him on my schedule, not his biological needs. Are you feeding for your convenience or their health? Sometimes the best thing we can do is put their needs first. Now, speaking of putting their needs first, this next mistake completely ignores their most basic need: a calm eating environment. The feeding location that's creating anxiety. The feeding location that's turning mealtime into stress time. Where your dog eats affects how well they digest their food. High traffic areas create anxiety. If kids are running around, TV is blasting, or other pets are nearby, your dog is eating in fight or flight mode. Stress hormones shut down proper digestion, leading to gas, loose stools, and poor nutrient absorption. I had a client whose dog developed chronic diarrhea. Turns out they were feeding him in the kitchen during family dinner prep. The poor guy was trying to eat while dodging feet, dropped utensils, and food prep chaos. Moved his bowl to a quiet corner. Problem solved in 3 days. Dogs need a calm, consistent spot where they feel safe to eat slowly and digest properly. It doesn't have to be fancy, just quiet and theirs. Also, elevated feeding stations aren't just about convenience. For older dogs or those with arthritis, bending down to floor level while eating can cause joint pain that makes them rush through meals. The ideal setup: quiet corner, elevated to shoulder height for medium-large dogs, away from foot traffic, same spot every time. Food should be enjoyable, not stressful. A calm eating environment improves digestion, reduces anxiety, and makes mealtime the peaceful experience it should be. Where does your dog eat? Is it chaos or calm? Your answer might explain a lot of digestive issues. The portion. Guessing game that's slowly killing them. Eyeballing portions instead of actually measuring. "Oh, this looks about right," is literally shortening your dog's lifespan. And here's the scary math behind it. Most people overestimate portions by 30 to 50%. That doesn't sound like much until you realize what it means long-term. An extra quarter cup daily equals 15 pounds of weight gain per year for a medium dog. I watched my friend's Beagle go from healthy to diabetic in just 18 months because she was a scooping with love. Each scoop was getting bigger as the dog got chubbier, creating a deadly cycle. Here's the reality check that changed everything for me. I thought I was measuring 1 cup. When I actually used a measuring cup, I was giving 1.5 cups. Every single meal. For 2 years, the fix costs $2. Buy an actual measuring cup and use it religiously. But here's the part no one tells you. Adjust for treats, age, and activity level. That feeding guide on the bag assumes 0 treats and high activity. My lazy Sunday couch potato golden needs 20% less food than the bag suggests. Plus, I subtract treat calories from his daily total. It sounds obsessive, but precision equals longevity. Stop guessing with your best friend's health. Measure everything for 1 week and see the difference. Are you actually measuring or just measuring? But even perfect portions become dangerous if you're making this final food safety mistake. The leftover laziness that's breeding bacteria, leaving wet food out, just for a little while, because you don't want to waste it. This laziness is literally serving your dog a bacteria buffet. Wet food starts growing dangerous bacteria within 30 minutes at room temperature. In summer heat, 15 minutes. That innocent-looking food that smells fine to you is crawling with E. coli and salmonella invisible to the human nose. My neighbor learned this the hard way when her Pitty got severe food poisoning from wet food left out for just 2 hours. $800 in emergency vet bills and 3 days of IV fluids because she didn't want to throw away a $3 can of food. Here's what really opened my eyes. I put wet food under a microscope after different time periods. 30 minutes looked normal. 1 hour showed bacteria colonies. 2 hours looked like a science experiment gone wrong. The rule is non-negotiable. Wet food gets 20 minutes maximum, then it goes in the trash. Not the fridge for later. Bacteria doesn't pause when you refrigerate contaminated food. But here's the money-saving hack. Buy smaller cans or split large cans into meal-sized portions before opening. Your wallet might hurt slightly, but it's nothing compared to emergency vet bills. I'd rather waste $1 of food than risk my dog's life. How long do you leave wet food out? Be honest, your answer might shock you. Now that you know all 17 deadly mistakes, here's what you need to do next to save your dog's life. Look, I just gave you ways to literally save your dog's life. And here's the thing. Every single one is preventable with simple changes. Clean bowl daily, fresh water twice daily, right bowl for your breed, measure portions, read ingredients, slow down eating, no cooked bones. Your dog trusts you completely. They depend on you for everything. These changes show them that trust isn't misplaced. If this helped you understand your dog better, subscribe. Because next week, I'm exposing the dog training methods that actually create aggressive behavior. You won't see this information anywhere else. And drop a comment telling me which mistake you're fixing first. I read every single one, and your story might just save another dog's life. Your dog is counting on you. Don't let them down.